what happened then was I built a Harley-powered sport bike, 50 of those to meet the rules of the AMA so we could race in the twins class. So there were only actually 47 engines left. I had to buy 3 from dealers, the other ones I bought from Harley. So I built 50 RR1000s. And we didn't have any money, but the guy ran a race, a couple of races. At that time, they had a series, the way this, I think it must have been CCS at the time anyhow, what the Twins Championship was, they had a one race at the end of the year decided the champion. So you had to qualify, but you didn't get points all season because people were out on the West Coast and the East Coast, and so they'd get points to qualify, and then they go to the grand finale at Daytona at Oktoberfest or whatever it was. So we showed up there with just enough points to be at the back of the grid, and our guy won. And that winter, with pressure from Ducati, AMA changed the rules to 200 minimum. It's not 50 anymore. Well, there were no more engines. So I was banned again. So after 2 of those, I was really, really pissed. The answer is, okay, I'm going to build street bikes. But they're going to be street great sport bikes, for the twisty roads like I grew up on, and the hell with whatever race rules are. And so that's what I wound up doing with the Buell company from, whenever that rule came in, like 86 through 93. So I built all the RR, RS, RR, RSS series of bikes during that time. We were just first starting. It was a blend, mostly Harley, but he knew that he had to go out of that. He understood these customers are very different, had to be treated differently. And we even got launched on a water-cooled engine project, which in the long run became the V-Rod, but it was my project first because he did the market research and it said the market for air-cooled sport bikes is going to stay pretty small. You've got to become modern and technical, so we got that project going. So anyhow, I'm kind of straining that up, but when he had that discussion with me and he told me what he wanted to do and he wanted to approach this customer in a different way, and I said, now we're talking, because you're right. That I am one of those guys, and there are a lot of them. And if we can make an American bike for them, that's what I've been wanting to do. So that's how that deal happened, how he bought in. And then as a few years went by and he retired, they kind of changed the idea and they dropped the non-Harley dealers and made us a subsidiary to feed people into the Harley family. The 1190RX was really cool because we're building the engines ourselves in East Troy and the chassis. So for years we used Harley engines, and then the first water cool we had was a Rotax built-in Austrian engine. Now we build the engine, which is a derivative of that engine, but we own it all and we build them ourselves. So that was a big step for me. And it's a really, really good motorcycle by anybody's standards. It's really fun to ride. It's very fast, very powerful, but also very forgiving, a lot of mid-range. It's like an electric motor to ride. It's this big, flat power band. So in street riding, it's shockingly fast, although it's deceiving because it has no kick. You don't get that, girly giggle thing that, my bike scared me. It just goes, whop, and you look down the speedometer and go, Lord, man, this thing's fast. But you almost don't have that sensation. So you can forget about riding it. There's no surprises. The engine is so flat that it doesn't ever jump in the corner. And I've built bikes that did. The RW750 was horrifying to ride. It had lots of horsepower, no mid-range. It was terrifying, that's square 4. And then very light wheels, which on bumpy roads they're not an advantage on a billiard table smooth Grand Prix track. But the whole thing with light wheels is bumpy roads. So if you see the video of I love it because this year we've had a guy enter the Isle of Man. Rough roads, street roads that you're racing on. And you just watch the camera and watch the front wheel going like, pop, 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 and it's like, holy smokes. And then you watch him outbrake guys after, one guy after another, and that's why. So again, it's built for the real world, not just for the racetrack, to me, which is, what I really love to do is ride sport bike roads. To race at the absolute limit, you want to be on a track, But on the other hand, I also want to ride quickly and in control on street highways, and it's a wonderful motorcycle with that. Beyond that, it's got some amazing technology. We have things in it that we do that are different than anybody else does, and they work. And they solve problems, like that very lightweight front wheel. Nobody else does anything like that. It doesn't show up on a racetrack. So you might say, well, the GP guys don't run that. Well, they have they're riding to a different design matrix than a street bike, What Marquez needs to get around Valencia is nothing like what you need to ride the roads around Birmingham. You know, you need light wheels. They're going to be rough. It's bumpy. It's all these things are happening. You need a tractable engine. You don't have the green flag to make sure the track's right. You're going to have all kind of surprises, you know. So it's very much built that way. But along with that, so the, you know, fuel in the frame and all those things happen. But along with that, there's a lot of technology in the engine that people don't know. And that's, again, American kind of engineering is this engine that we have makes 185 horsepower, makes a few less horsepower than the most powerful twin in the class at peak, but much more in the mid-range than the best other twin out there, street bike, much more. Along with that, it makes 6% of the CO emissions, which is off the charts. That means we have a 94% margin over the limit you're allowed to have, and 23% of the HC plus NOx. These crazy good numbers, incredible numbers. And it isn't by luck. It is engineering, it's technology, it's things we have patents on. The bike in EPA gets 51 miles to the gallon highway, 51.8. That's crazy good for a high performance 180 horsepower bike. And again, it's real technology. It's weird stuff that we've done, that out of the box thinking. That's this American style. So I didn't invent these things. It's my team that you've let the guys go and say, here's what I want to accomplish, you know, and they'll go, boy, you know, I think we may be able to do like this. Nobody's done it that way before. I'm like, sounds cool to me, try it, you know. And they glue this all together. And it's a handful of guys, you know, in East Troy, Wisconsin, doing this. It's a very small, you know, very small company, and we're doing great engineering there. And this is not to denigrate anybody else, but people ought to realize how good American engineers are at doing high-tech motorcycles. We don't have that. I'm trying to build that respect. And while I'm at it, make great motorcycles, you know.